The San Francisco 49ers fall to 3-1 on the season following a loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to talk about it all. It's hard to win football games when you turn the football over 4 times. It's hard to win football games when your special teams isn't worth the shit. It's hard to win football games when you drop the football constantly. Simple way to put it, really doesn't matter who the opponent is. If you're going to turn the ball over 4 times, you're going to lose. If you can't catch passes, you're going to lose. If your special teams is giving up touchdown runs and big plays, you're going to lose. But shout out to the defense. I think they tried their best. And they did really well when they weren't put in poor positions. I felt like over and over they were put in a bad spot and they performed. I think they gave the 49ers as many chances as they could. The 49ers again had a chance with the ball in their hands at the end of the game and pretty fumbled the football. So, but it doesn't matter who the opponent is. You do want to give a shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Their defense is actually pretty good. And they ran the football very well. I think that's probably more of an issue, I think, defensively than anything. But I thought the defense was great. I think when you look at the amount of passes that were high, behind, low, Purdy didn't clearly look right. The interceptions, you can't have them. The fumble, you can't have it. Trent Williams, we have to have a discussion. I'm a little nervous right now. Special teams, you fucking suck again this year. Doesn't matter who the coordinator is, you suck. And drop footballs. Kendrick Bourne, catch the football. What are we asking of you? Just catch the football. Pretty clearly wasn't right, but there was a lot of throws that were high, low, whatever, right? Having said all that, the defense still put them in a position where they had a chance to go on, win this game. But Eric Armstead, causes the fumble, game over. But the special teams, you fucking stink. Fucking stink. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. When I did my show with Dieter this week, I said, the special teams is like a sinking ship, right? And there's a hole, and the kicker's bad, but you plug that with a kicker, but you still can't cover anybody on special teams. You still can't make the right decision on when to get punts. You still can't. You allow big plays by Baishal Tutin off of kickoffs. Special teams are abysmal. And we're back to just wishing that the special teams would just be a net zero. Just don't lose it for us and don't win it for us. Just do nothing. Be in the middle. Don't do nothing. Just don't do that. But offensively, again, it's catching up. You have a short week now. Ricky Pearsall's injured. Now what? Juwan Jennings got crushed and he tried to finish this game. Now what? DeMarcus Robinson was there. He caught one pass. Kendrick Bourne can't catch. Again, that signing is a lot more about vibes than it is actual football player. I felt like. It's going to be tough. This week is going to be very, very tough. This is going to be very tough to go into Los Angeles after that. They just finished their game against the Colts. But man. And I want to specifically talk about the interception off of McCaffrey's hands because that was a point of contention. So I want to explain this as calmly as possible. That was a horrible read and a bad throw. Just because it hit Christian McCaffrey in the hands doesn't mean that was the play. And I want you guys to watch it again because the play is a bootleg play action on a rollout. And they've run it so many times with George Kittle where George Kittle stands in the middle of the field and you can get right back to him. And that's where the design throw is. So the reason I'm highlighting this is because 1, it was a horrible read. 2, it was a bad throw. 3, it was dropped. And 4, it was an interception. But the check down was right there. So what I want to talk about with Brock Purdy is this. Playing in structure. And this is the type of shit that'll drive Kyle Shanahan nuts. Because that's not the way he designed that play. That's not the outcome that he was looking for. He's not asking you to do anything other than take the free money. The free money. The throw in the middle of the field to the wide open tight end. Free money. We were talking about last season in which he was turning down the throws that he was supposed to take for the bigger play. And at times we like that. You're not a singles hitter. You're a doubles hitter. We like that. Play in the structure of the offense more, Brock. And that's your example right there. That is going to drive Kyle Shanahan absolutely nuts. And the people that will say, "Oh, McCaffrey has to catch that," are completely dismissing the lack of process on that play. Because that's not where that ball was supposed to go. That ball is a pitch and catch staple concept for the San Francisco 49ers and many offenses. Roll out on a bootleg, wide open tight end in the middle. Do not overthink it. Get the ball, take the free money, gain your yards. But instead, you force the pass to Christian McCaffrey, bounces off his hands, ends in an interception. That is the type of shit that is going to make me and Kyle Shanahan rip my hair out. Because that's not anything other than you just not playing in structure. That's not what the play call was designed for. I don't want to hear that Christian McCaffrey should have caught that. It was a bad throw. It was a bad read. All you had to do was what the play call called for. And that's why when you see Kyle get upset and you're saying, man, he's limiting what his quarterback can do. That's why. We don't want you to play that far out of structure. We want you to take the free money. And the free money was there to be taken. But no, interception. That's just when the offense is struggling and everything looks hard, because everything looked hard today on offense. The free money's there and you're turning it down. And it turns into an interception. The 49ers offensively, I will say this, didn't have too much of a hard time, as usual, and this felt like 2024, moving the ball up and down the field. The red zone continues to be a problem. Obviously, they get the shovel pass touchdown to Christian McCaffrey and they get the play to Tonjes. Cool. Like those are, you're converting in the red zone at least, right? But to start the game, you get the field goal. You're again in the middle, the 20s, you're able to move the football. It doesn't look as effortless and as easy as it did in 2023, clearly. But you're still moving the football. But you're not finishing in the red zone. Run blocking is a problem. Still is. I don't know if I want to have the Trent Williams talk right now. I think I want to watch the tape tomorrow before I say anything. But I'm concerned, and I'll definitely say that. I am concerned, especially given the fact that Jared Verse is next and so are the Los Angeles Rams. But as far as the offense goes, when everything is difficult and you're turning down the easy shit, you're compounding the problem. The play call was not for Brock Purdy to throw the football over the middle to Christian McCaffrey up high. It was to take the free money to the tight end for the free yards and a positive play. Staggering plays, playing in the structure, still something that Brock Purdy at times struggles with in the Kyle Shanahan offense. Almost 10 minutes in here, 123 people in here. Make sure you drop a like. The San Francisco 49ers lose a mistake-filled game to the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. And they have nobody to blame but themselves. I feel like we say that after every loss. We pretty much are just like, hey, if they do this right, yeah, I mean, clearly. But this, like, it always feels like, and this was like a microcosm of what was happening in 2024, and it just felt like a repeat of one of those games today, is just the drop passes, the turnovers, the poor special teams. Like, I felt like that was a game from 2024. Largely, the 49ers have avoided those outcomes in 2025 because they've made enough plays down the stretch. But they didn't today, and the Jaguars did. And that's how razor thin the margins are in the NFL. I thought early on in the game, the defense, they had a tough time getting pressure. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence, it looked like he was baking cakes in the pocket. They did work on that, and they fixed that. And I saw Saleh adjust, and he used, I saw Luke Gifford on the field a lot more. And I felt like that was an attempt to slow down the run game because Travis Etienne, he was having himself a day. He's having a great season. They can really run the football. That Liam Cohen offense, they can run the football. But they did make adjustments. And I don't really have too many qualms with the defense. The defense is put up in a bad spot anyway without Bosa. And you saw the adjustments that were made by Robert Saleh. But, you you can't keep relying on them. Like, they kept giving the 49ers offense a chance. Like, hey, we're getting stops. I think it was like 5 straight third downs that they got stops on at the end of the game. You can't ask any more of that defense, especially when you're turning the football over and putting them back on the field right away, right? Like, they get off the field and then Brock throws an interception, they're back on the field. I was a little worried about the pass rush. I think that's still going to be a work in progress as we get through the season and Salah figures out the combinations and what he's going to have to do. I don't know if if it just was blitz, it would have worked. I don't know if it's all that. I think there's different ways to do it. I think they were, using some loops and stuff like that to try to get people off. I did see Bryce Huff coming off the field a little bit earlier on early downs to try and save him for those pass rushing attempts. But, it's this one's going to be rough because it comes on the heels of, losing Bosa. You get Purdy back, and then you turn the ball over 4 times, and then Pearsall's injured, Juwan Jennings is laboring, and now it's Thursday night against the Rams. And how quickly things change, week to week, right? Going to this game 3-0, you leave this game 3-1, but you probably don't feel as bad about this loss if you played better, if Pearsall wasn't injured on a short week, if Jennings didn't get crushed. It just looked like at times Purdy was just overthrowing guys and just trying to get them hurt. Look, I know that sounds mean and it sounds rude or whatever, but how many times was he high in this game? He was high almost every single time, and maybe he's not ready to go. I wonder if they pushed him to play because Mac wasn't going to be able to play. These are all questions that we're never going to get answers to, but I'm just thinking out loud here. Let's see. Thanks for the donation, bro. The unbeaten with Keith and Bernie. Thank you for the donation. This game felt bad from the jump. Yeah, it did. And early on, it looked like how the offense was going. Like, hey, they're starting to, the good opening script. Purdy missed some throws, but you're just like, hey, he's rusty. You're trying to get him back in there. But then the game, it continues, and then you lose Pearsall halfway through, and people are dropping passes, and the ball's constantly being overthrown, and you're not able to run the football. It's something that 49ers are still the only team in the NFL without a rushing touchdown. Like, we still have to talk about this. But you have to give credit to the Jaguars defense, man. They are very, very, very opportunistic when it comes to taking the football away. Now, were some of those throws, right to their defenders? Yes. For sure. But still, when your defense takes the football away 4 times, you got to feel good about your chances. So, but it is a bummer considering how they played and how they lost and with who they play next, right? You just watched the Rams come back and beat the Colts. They're 3-1. It seems like Seattle's figuring things out right now. Arizona's up and down, but you have to be lucky and feel good that you banked up these 3 wins because now you're going to be going through the ups and downs here now of what's going to happen these next few weeks. You just got to hope that, obviously Brock gets back to health. Again, this is going to be a short week again. So if he's not right today, they got to snap right back into it because they play Thursday. You just got to hope that he gets a little bit better. Those throws that are overthrows, they get pulled back, and he's not doing that as much because the Rams defense is going to make them pay if they don't do it, if they don't have this. And then, you worry about the offensive line against the Rams. You worry about that because Trent Williams clearly isn't right. There's something wrong. Jared Verse is a monster. This defense is going to get after it. They're very familiar with the 49ers. That era of familiarity has put them in a spot where they can basically play call and figure out what the 49ers are going to do before they do it. So all of those things combined with this loss and the way that they've played, and then you throw it on a short week, and it's against the Rams on a divisional game, it's not looking good. Let's get to these donations. Goat no answers. I got no answers either. Thanks for the donation. Mac is 90% as good as Brock for 10% the price. Yeah, the offense certainly wasn't turning the football over at this rate when he was in there. You could definitely say that. But I do have a sneaky feeling that not only is Brock not right, Mac wasn't right, and they were trying to push him along to try to get him to play. So I don't know if Mac could have played, They just, were hoping that Brock would make it through. I don't think they expected Brock to play that poorly. Gojira, thank you for the donation, man. Remember the offensive malaise before CMC got here. It is really back. Kyle is just atrocious in the red zone. 90% of running on first and goal is tiresome, especially when they can't run block down there. I mean, we do have to have a talk about the red zone offense because it just continues to be bad. And this is a layover from last year. And we thought Christian McCaffrey was just going to be the end all be all answer. Maybe George Kittle is, but we're going to have to wait for that. Andrew's here. Let's see. Let's talk to Andrew. What's up, buddy?
I apologize for the tardiness. Had some people over. Angie says hi, Jason Aponte. Sweet Angie Martin. We love her. Former 49 Carats podcast, right? So that's why I apologize for the tardiness. Jason, I'm assuming you talked about a lot of the talking points here. I feel like the thing we talked about most the first 3 weeks was those were 3 games the 2024 49ers would not win. Mm-hmm. This was the 2024 49ers are back game. It was the turnovers. I mean, am I concerned about Brock Purdy? I don't know. Was he hurt today? How healthy was he? I don't know. Too many turnovers. The special teams, though. I mean, the special teams is really the big one because you get the field goal right before the half to take it to 8 points, right? You're down 8 points going into the half. You allow I think it was Tootin who had the 54-yard kickoff return right into a field goal, and now you're back into the situation. I apologize about all the sirens, Jason.
No, you're good.
Apparently Sacramento's going crazy today. You give up the long kickoff return. They make a 26-yard field goal, and now you're back down 11 going into the half. So it's just a lot of terrible mistakes, but I guess the spin zone on it, Jason, if people want the spin zone, say something positive. All those things went wrong. 4 turnovers, the punt return for a touchdown. And the Niners only lost this game by 6. They were still in it at the end of it. This was a game they probably should have lost by 20, like with how they played. So, I know we don't want silver linings right now because the wound is very fresh. The game just ended. But this is a game the Niners had no business having a chance to drive down and tie the game on the last drive. And that's where they were. I know you hit a lot of those points probably, Jason, but that was my takeaway of it. It was such a 2024 game that I'm a little nervous that 2024 might be back.
The Unbeaten with Keith and Bernie, thank you for the second donation. Trent was getting worked a little bit out there. Yeah, I'm concerned. I am concerned.
Yeah.
Now you can fully label me concerned. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to watch the tape. I'm going to let this feeling that I have of instant reaction, which you guys love because we're going through the motions. This feels like we're doing a therapy session with you guys and we're getting all our thoughts out. I'm going to allow this to disappear before I pop on the tape and don't rush to conclusions. So here's the problem, right? When people have something in their mind that they want to see on tape, they'll see it, not what the tape is telling you. Meaning, if I go into watching the tape saying, "Oh my God, Trent Williams is fucking cooked," I'm gonna watch every little thing and say, "Oh my God, he's cooked," to confirm that thought. You can't have a thought before you go in to watch the tape. The tape should tell you something. You shouldn't be telling the tape what you want to see. It's the best way I could put it. So we'll see though. I'm concerned. I will say I am concerned. I'm concerned.
This might be a tape question, Jason. So you just went through that whole spiel, and it's also an offensive line question. But is the Niners' run game just cooked? Like, is McCaffrey not great anymore, or is it that? Do you think it's more of an offensive line thing?
I think it's both. I think it's both things. I think we've been waiting, and this week, remember we were talking about this game. I was like, I'm not sure that this is the week that the 49ers run game is going to get back on track all of a sudden. Just not this team, not against the Jaguars. The way that they flow defensively, they're built to do that, right? Like, again, the 49ers are facing a light box at a ridiculously low rate, but that's misleading because safeties are flying down the field. It doesn't mean just because they're not in the box before the snap doesn't mean that they're not in the box as soon as the blocking is there. So I think it's both. I really think it's both. I think it is a little bit of Christian McCaffrey clearly is in 2023. He is trying his best. He is doing everything that he can. He is literally just taking one play off, and without him, God knows where this offense would have been today. But I also think the run blocking has suffered, and for the most part, the 49ers pass protection has been better than his run blocking. I don't think that's something that we would have ever thought we'd say in 2025.
And then also I want to give some credit to Jacksonville's defense.
Yes.
They made plays. I talked about it on Friday, Jason, that teams were just as likely to score as they were to turn the ball over to this Jacksonville defense. And guess what, Jason? Niners had 4 scoring drives. Jacksonville had 4 turnovers. So that continues. And it's really the difference in this game, because how many near interceptions or how many near fumble recoveries did the Niners have today? And they couldn't get a single turnover, right? Like Upton Stout had the interception that was called back on I thought a ticky-tack pass interference, Jason.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've talked about that
I didn't
yet.
like it.
I thought it was fairly ticky-tack. But that's really the difference of the game. I mean, God, that last interception by Brock Purdy. Oh my God, that was a Jimmy Garoppolo no throw. And
it was tipped at the line, but it was going nowhere.
I think 0, if it got tipped or not, it was going right into who's number 0 on Jacksonville. That's Devin Lloyd, right?
Devin Lloyd's a stud. He played his ass off today.
Whether that ball was tipped or not, I think that ball was intercepted the whole time. Hey, did not miss any field. Hey, small credit to the 49ers. They fixed the kicking game, right? Like, special teams is still atrocious as a whole, but we got a kicker. Kicker, Jason.
That's what I was saying, is the 49ers special teams is a sinking ship, and there's holes everywhere, right? But as soon as you plug the hole with a good kicker, your punt coverage comes off, or your kickoff coverage comes off. So yeah, I don't know what it is, man. Doesn't matter who the coordinator is, doesn't matter who the punt returner is, doesn't matter who's on punt coverage. They fucking suck.
Yeah,
on special teams.
And then Jason, allow me to be a content creator here, Niners content creator here. Are we concerned about Brock Purdy? Because he did not look good today.
No, he didn't. I didn't like what I saw today, but again, I'm shooting myself bail and giving myself an out by saying I definitely think that he's still hurt, and they pushed for him to play because Mac couldn't play. I think if Mac never hurt his knee, I think he's out there. That's just me again.
Yeah,
that's me going off nothing but a feeling, a vibe, that something that's in the air, nothing more. So please don't make it seem like I'm telling you something that I didn't hear shit. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Throwing stuff. Hey, instant reaction. It's the nature of the beast, right? We're instantly reacting to what we saw, right? And my thing is, it's just he makes a lot of unnecessary throws, and like I like it. I like the gunslinger aspect of Brock Purdy, but his throws are sometimes too high. Like that was the big issue today, and maybe that is a toe thing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what it feels like to have turf toe while trying to play an NFL game as a quarterback. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he should have been better, but that was kind of the common trend today. Was every throw was high, every throw was dangerous. I mean, he got Jawan Jennings blown up. Have we heard anything on Ricky Pearsall, by the way? I know it's a knee.
He tried to get back out there. He
tried to get back out there. And that's another thing too, Jason. I don't know if you've touched on it. Don't you think it's a little weird that we didn't see Demarcus Robinson until Pearsall got hurt? Like, aren't we this receiving core is very bare bones at this moment. And it just kind of felt like it was the Pearsall McCaffrey show again. I mean, obviously it was, because McCaffrey has 11 targets leading the Niners, so not even remotely close to looking at other receivers. But it's real weird that Demarcus Robinson really wasn't used until after Pearsall went out.
I think we heard a lot of good things about him in training camp. I think we are worried about who's actually running routes, because we don't want to see Marcus Valdes-Scantling or Russell Gage or any of those guys. But have we ever stopped to consider that he might not be that good anyway?
Yeah.
Like I think all of these things are true. I think we've heard so much about him in training camp and what a veteran he is. And you look at his numbers and you say, hey, he's done pretty good. And then you look around and you're like, damn, I don't want Marcus Valdes-Scantling or Russell Gage running or Sky Moore running routes. I can't wait for Demarcus Robinson to come back. And we really haven't sat here and even had an honest discussion on whether he's actually good at football. Again, look, he's back 1 week, fine. We have to shoot him some bail with that. But Demarcus Robinson isn't exactly like a savior, right? Like this isn't a Brandon Ayuk is back to form type of guy. He's a veteran wide receiver that Kyle Shanahan is probably going to trust. That's the
Mhm.
best that I can say.
Yeah, and I mean, not to take shots at Demarcus Robinson, but he was always in that Tutu Atwell, Josh Reynolds area behind Cooper Kupp and behind Puka Nakua. So he was always a third option in Los Angeles. So maybe I was a little, maybe we're overrating him a little bit here as well. In terms of his importance. Kyle's back is really a coin person.
I
Yeah,
mean, hey, that hook and ladder play. That's
that
when
was
I
cool.
really that was really when I got nervous. I was like, oh my god, that's how far they're
Yeah.
going to get a first down. Oh
Yeah. It
no.
was a cool play to be like, oh, they got yardage, like they're moving a little bit, but then it's like, wait, they got to do that to get a big play right now. So
To get a first
that's a
down.
concern. That's a concern.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I mean, I was happy that it worked,
No, it was cool.
but I just was like, that's not what I'm looking for, Kyle. Not trick plays, right? Like I need you to, to try to really scheme this shit up. It did feel desperate. Everybody's saying the same thing as well too. The unbeaten with Keith and Bernie, thank you again, man, for the donation. Appreciate you, bro. Jaguars been watching a lot of Peanut Tillman film. Man, they punching the ball out, getting the ball. Look again. Whatever deficiencies you have on defense can be, if you are turning the football over, that can mask all that. And I'm not saying that the Jaguars have a bad defense because I actually really was impressed. I understood what their philosophy is. Everything is,
Oh,
zone, keep everything in front, and then rush with four. But they, when you take the football away, you can mask anything. Were you gonna say something?
no, apparently Cohen and I don't know if you talked about this. Cohen and Sala had to be separated after the game.
Yeah, they don't like each other. And
Yeah.
that's because the finalists. So the backstory, the finalists for that Jaguars job
Yeah.
was those two. And remember, Cohen left without a deal, and then he took the deal and didn't even tell Tampa Bay, and it felt it's very Jaguarsy how this all played out. So yeah, I'm sure Salah didn't like it because I'm sure he wanted to get a head coaching job. So I mean, it is what it is. Hey, listen, if we're gonna lose the game, let's have our coaches beat the shit out of their coaches. I mean, let's win at something. So I'm okay with it. Salah, whip his ass.
That was a bummer of a game, Jason.
Yeah, it was.
And it doesn't make me feel any better considering the Niners play in 4 days.
Yeah.
It's not what because now.
Well,
Go ahead.
all right. Well, I'll say this: we don't get to stew on this one for too long.
Yeah, there we go. Positive spin. I like it, Jason. I like the positive spin. We don't have to think about it. We'll do a clean wrap tomorrow on SRO at lunchtime, and then we'll out the window because we got to move on. I don't like the amount of back-to-back plays that kind of hurt the Niners here because let's see here. It was the fumble by Farrell in the second quarter. The
Yep.
very
Get
next
him off the
play,
field, by the way. Get him off the field, by the way.
The very next play was an ETN 48-yard run for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Pearsall makes the big catch, the one-handed catch on the sideline on the 3rd down and 5. And either the very next play or the play a couple plays after, Purdy misses a throw to McCaffrey that gets tipped in the air and intercepted. Let's see here. Where's that punt return for a touchdown? Because I'm pretty sure that Bourne had a drop on 3rd down. Yeah, 3rd and 9, Bourne drop, very next play, 89-yard punt return for a touchdown. And that's your ball game. So it was mistakes compounded by mistakes. And again, as I said at the top, Jason, this is as close to the 2024 49ers as you've seen this season. And they've played some familiar looking games. It's just, you can't turn the ball over 4 times and expect to win too many games in the NFL.
Can't turn the ball over 4 times. You can't drop every single pass. You can't be horrible on special teams and expect to win. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. You just can't.
No.
It's and I'm not trying to take anything away from the Jaguars, and I'm not trying to make this seem like, hey, the 49ers beat themselves, even though they did. I feel like anytime that they lose, we can say that, we think about that. But yeah, it was just bad overall. Like altogether, it was just bad. And when you play in that way, when you have that many mistakes, that's the results you're gonna get, whether you play a college team, a high school team, like you just.
Oh.
And again, that's exactly what was happening last season. So it did feel very familiar in not a good way at all.
Have you mentioned? I'm assuming you mentioned it, Jason. You know who the Niners could use on the defensive line? A player like Eric Armstead. I
Pretty
think they
good,
could
huh?
use a guy like Niners should have looked into getting a guy like him because he's the guy that again, it's the Michael Williams fallacy a little bit from week one because Eric Armstead's best ability was run
Hmm.
stopping, and
Hmm.
that's not something that's going to pop in the box scores. So a lot of
Hmm.
Niner fans were saying, hey, Armstead's a little overrated. But then
Hmm.
in a game like this where Travis Etienne goes for 124 rushing yards, your running game can't stop anything. And then, oh, by the way, Eric Armstead makes the game-winning strip sack, fumble recovery. Niners could use a guy like Eric Armstead right about now, but Niner fans were too busy slandering him every corner they could get. So,
Could
that's
you imagine Eric
funny
Arms?
how things work.
Could you imagine Eric Armstead on this defense with Robert Saleh?
Could you imagine how good that would be, man? Like that would be really, really nice. But Niner fans didn't like him, I guess. So he's no longer in San Francisco. He's playing. What team is he on? Oh, he's on the Jaguars now, and he kind of impacted that game. Weird how that works.
Curtis Mason says, let's trade for Hendrickson. That'll fix everything, right? Well, they have a game tomorrow. If they go 3-1, that starts to get more unlikely. So I would just set your watch to this name. Prepare for Arden Key from the Tennessee Titans to return. I would lower your expectations for the Trey Hendrickson thing.
Yeah, no, that's a fun one to talk about. I mean, it's just what it is, right? That's the nature of sports Twitter nowadays. Is you have a position of need, you go pick the best one allegedly available, and odds. I mean, I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, Jason Aponte. I'm used to it.
Oh, and the other thing too that I like is why don't the Bengals just trade us their best defensive player? Like, because I'm a fan of this team. Like,
Niners need a receiver
no,
too. Go get Jamar Chase while we're at it.
And Curtis, I wasn't taking a shot at you at all or anything like that, because I know that talk is going to get louder, especially how early on in this game I was saying, like, Trevor Lawrence was back there, making sandwiches and shit, like, in the pocket. Wasn't taking a shot at you at all. I'm just saying that I would set my watch to someone lower on the rung.
I'm a little nervous about the next 2 weeks, Jason.
Yeah, well, and this is another thing too, Andrew. The NFL is a week-to-week league.
Mm-hmm.
Things change quickly. You have a game where Nick Bosa gets injured, but you win, and you start to feel good about, hey, man, we still haven't played our best football, and then a game like this smacks you in the face, and then you have a quick turnaround to go to LA for a Thursday night game. It happens fast, it moves fast, and it happens quickly. So yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate this. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to be available for Thursday. Is Ricky Pearsall going to be available? Is Juwan Jennings going to be available? Is Brock Purdy going to be available? We could just be seeing.
Is Mac Jones going to be available?
Right. It could just be Mac Jones, Kendrick Bourne, and Demarcus Robinson, and then we all fucking pray for 2 hours on watching. At least we get to watch that sweet ass Prime Vision on Amazon Prime. Yeah, we like a lot of things need to be answered, and all of it comes on the back of a loss, and all of it comes after you played your worst game of the season, and now things have completely changed.
Should I start watching Adrian Martinez film just to prepare? Like, I don't know. Like, should we start getting to learn Adrian Martinez just in case?
What's Nate Sudfeld doing?
What's Nate Sudfeld doing? What's JT O'Sullivan doing? He's got a YouTube channel. He could probably still sling it, right?
Dude, maybe. I mean, could be.
This is just it's okay. This will probably be my biggest take for an instant reaction here, Jason. Mm-hmm. But this is the type of game that makes me more concerned about how they played against Arizona and how they played against New Orleans. Because yes, those are wins, right? And we talk about don't ask how many, but those were pretty awful close games against two not good. I'm officially putting Arizona in the not good category, Jason. Those were two very close games against not good football teams. And now all of a sudden, they play against a team who, if anything, has a good defense, right? Like their offense is still leaves a little bit to be imagined, right? Like it struggled. Trevor Lawrence definitely had some interceptable passes, but this defense is legit. So now it's just like, okay, like really it took one game to like, okay, can this team actually beat the Rams? Can this team actually beat the Buccaneers, the team after? Like, it's making me question those wins now. That's how bad this was for me. I don't know if you agree with that point though.
I do. Uh, Kyle Shanahan said that Liam Cohen shouldn't be that sensitive over Robert Saleh's comments. Hey man,
Okay.
I mean, everybody loved Jim Harbaugh, and he wanted to fight Jim Schwartz. So maybe we're trying to bring back that energy. I don't know.
Maybe. Man, at least that wasn't a win though.
It was.
That
It
wasn't a
wasn't a win.
win. The Niners won that game against Detroit. God, that was such a
Yeah.
fun football game. Let's talk about that game. Let's talk about
No.
2012 Niners Lions. No, I'm joking. We're not going to do that,
No.
Jason. I mean,
The one thing I will say is this, right? Like the turnover thing. You have Fred, who gets his hands on two passes that probably could have been intercepted. You get a forced fumble that just ends up in somebody's legs, unfortunately. And yeah, you're not getting turnovers, but you're getting off the field, right? And those flip the field moments are momentum changers, and you want that, right? Like you obviously want that sudden change, right? To put the pressure back on their defense to defend your offense, like coming off the field. But they were getting off the field. The 49ers defense was doing well when they weren't put in a bad position, right? And that's without the pass rush being as good as it's been. It just when your offense isn't doing anything, when your offense is turning the football over, when your offense is not scoring in the red zone, that's what's going to happen when you play that poorly and you drop passes and you turn the football over as much as you do.
Christian McCaffrey's first two runs went for a combined 14 yards. After that, he went 15 for 35.
Eek. That's about like 2.7
Yeah.
a carry. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's to a point, Jason, where I think you got to start giving Brian Robinson a little more run.
Well, yes.
And no.
Yes and no. Right. Like
Yeah.
like that's what I was gonna say. Like yes and no. Yes, because one, I don't want Christian McCaffrey to get overworked. But the thing is, the reason that you do want to see Brian Robinson is even though he's touching the ball those times, it's not looking great running the football either.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna end up with the same amount of yards, you might as well give it to a player who's, Brian Robinson, who's not gonna, not hurt or anything like that. But no, because Brian Robinson's an all right running back. Like he's not a game breaker. I think the issues with run blocking, he's not gonna solve it running the
Yeah.
football. I think that's a bigger thing. That's a bigger thing to talk about. Like I think in one breath you can say Christian McCaffrey is clearly not that guy that he was in 2023,
Yeah.
but this run blocking has been very bad. And Brian Robinson being in the game isn't going to change that. And they aren't going to start ripping off run after run if it's the same level of run blocking. You understand? So yes and no.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I say yes and no, I think yes, just to give it a different look, see if something happens, but no, because he's not Christian McCaffrey. So
Yeah.
like that's kind of my thing. It's I don't know. This one shouldn't be as much of a head scratcher as it actually is.
Mhm.
Because it should just be as simple as, well, the turnover screwed this team over. But if you look deeper in it, like there's severe struggles going on with this team, and Jacksonville was able to survive. I mean, again, Jason, I can't stress it enough, but the Niners turned the ball over 4 times and lost this game by 5 points.
Yeah.
Like,
Chico Dusty says gonna take out all my frustration on the Cowboys tonight. They better lose. You and Micah Parsons will.
yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting game to watch. Apparently Jerry Jones is on NBC talking some stuff right now. That's what people on Twitter are saying, but I don't know what he's actually saying. But yeah, Jason. One thought I had the entire game, and maybe
Yep.
it's a little too early to get to it.
Yep.
Can you pick 3 players for 3 stars in this game? Because I don't know if I can.
I can.
You can, okay? Because maybe we don't have to get to it yet. That was one of my thoughts. Just an all around bad loss, man. But again, I guess the best way to look at it is, Jason, this is still 3-1 team. Still 3-1 team. They're still in first place in the NFC West. They're 3-1.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, you don't get style points in the NFL, just how many wins you get, but the vibe around this 3-1 game, it's completely changed, from 3-0, and how we all felt, with all the incoming, reinforcements and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's a week to week league, and this game is a sobering reminder of that.
Yep.
And how quickly you have to reevaluate things, because winning is the ultimate deodorant. The
Yep.
special teams has been bad for 4 weeks, but they won 3 games. The offense, when Brock Purdy's been on the field, has turned the football over too many times, but they won 3 of those games. They are missing guys. The run game is still not going. These are trends through 4 weeks. These are trends that you cannot, you can't argue against.
No.
There is a fundamental lack of run blocking. The running game is not there. Turning the football over. Special teams fucking sucks. And, they're not finishing in the red zone. This is a 4-game sample size. So we're not going off of a game trend. All of these things are true, but the 49ers are 3-1. So we don't highlight the things that are, going on that we're nervous about, because it's like, hey, they won the game. And of course they're going to start playing their best football, but now it's 4 weeks. Now it's 4 weeks. So, the Unbeaten, thank you again for the donation, because it feels like 3-2 because the Rams look good. But, again, Rams look good one week. Another team looks good another week. You never know. Like, this has a potential, this game. And Money Mark, thank you for the donation. It's not CMC offensive line stinks. I think it's a little bit of both, but I appreciate the donation. This is exactly the type of game that the 49ers will probably go into, where they don't have anybody on offense, right? Like, and things are, Pearsall might not play. Jennings is going to be limited. And on Thursday Night Football, the 49ers just go out there and they whip up on the Rams. Like, just when you're ready to count them out. Like, and I've seen this story so many times. I'm not ready, not jumping out the window, and I got a little bit of time to pick the 49ers to beat the Rams. Obviously, things don't look good, and they don't feel good right now on September 28th, 7:55 Eastern. But wouldn't it be so funny for the 49ers, while everyone's counting them out following this loss and not having guys that all of a sudden they go out there and they punch the Rams in the face on Thursday Night Football and win that game, and then everybody will say never a doubt?
That's how the vibes will be back, because that's kind of what they did with the 2021 team, the 2022 team, is they got off those slow starts, and then a primetime game against the Rams, and the Niners would blow them out by 20 points and be like, no, we're good. So, like, in a funny way, Jason, like, I almost agree with you that I feel almost more confident about this game against the Rams as a 3-1 team than I would have 4-0. Is that weird to say? Like, that's a weird thing to say.
Well, because when's the letdown coming? Right? Like, you got the letdown out of the way, right? Like, this is the letdown, right? Like, and now, everyone is going to automatically say, hey, listen, you guys have no shot, anything like that, right? But, this would be so funny that the 49ers would be counted out in this one. They wouldn't have everybody, and they would go out there and just blitz the Rams on Thursday Night Football in SoFi. I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah. Just a bad game. Wash it,
Yeah. Watch the Demarcus Robinson revenge game get us. Now we're talking about vibes. And this is the problem, right? And this is what Kyle Shanahan's not doing right now. You have Mac Jones right there for a Jaguars revenge game, and you don't throw him out there. You throw Luke Farrell out there, who shouldn't be seeing the field, by the way. Send his ass to the shadow realm.
It's almost like Kittle's pretty good, and you miss him a little bit, huh?
Right. But vibes,
Jake
man.
Tongas,
man. I mean, look, vibes, man. Kyle, you're not playing the vibes thing. Revenge game has always got to be a part of your play calling and how you decide to do things, man. Like, you're just missing it, man. You're just missing it. The revenge game was right there in front of you. Mac Jones literally would have went out there and lit Trevor Lawrence's ass up, and they were drafted in the same draft. You're missing the vibes. You're missing the small details of the things that would have let you get to this win. So, yeah. And obviously, guys, I'm being funny.
Yeah, no doubt. Comedy and tragedy are just tight to each other, so.
Well, what I've noticed is that, people don't want to laugh after a 49ers loss. I mean, they lost, but you'll be all right. We're going to be fine. I think I'm going to be fine. It's time to laugh again.
Yeah. You want to do 3 stars, Jason? I'm curious to see who you got.
Sure.
I got. I'll start with my 3rd star, just because it was the only play that got me excited in this. Ricky Pearsall, 446, the catch on the sideline. That was pretty cool. I got to cheer for something today, so that's why Pearsall gets my 3rd star.
Eddie Pinheiro, is my 3rd star. I'm digging deep here. Special team sucks, but our kicker doesn't. And Eddie Pinheiro.
I like that. I'll go Pinheiro myself here. Listen, he didn't make any particularly long field goals, but it's still really cool to see a field goal kicker kick it right down the middle every time. Like
Right.
that's really cool because his long field goal here was 26 yards,
Hmm.
but right down the middle. Right down. I
Hmm.
know a kicker, not to name names, who would have like tightly gotten it in right next to the left upright
Hey,
if he
yo.
would have made it at all.
Yeah. The unbeaten again. Thank you for the donation, buddy. The punt return hurt. Yeah. Special team sucks, man. Doesn't matter who the coordinator is. Special teams just it's awful. It's not Hightower. It's not the other guy. It's not this guy. It's not Bauer. It's not Boyer, who, he's literally drafting guys that just played with his son, in school, and they don't even make the team. Like whatever, man. Number two, is Christian McCaffrey. Look, man, we're reaching here. And I don't think he played poorly. Dropped the football. Him and everybody else. And again, I'm not blaming that first Brock Purdy interception. I will redo my spiel one more time for why that's all on Brock Purdy and not on Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Is that play design is a play action off a bootleg in which the tight end sits in the middle of the field. The 49ers have run it many, many times. It's a staple of their offense. It's for free money, free access. Throw the football to the guy that's wide open in the middle. You're supposed to play in structure, Brock Purdy. You're not supposed to color outside of the lines. And that's going to drive me and Kyle Shanahan nuts because that ball should have never been thrown to Christian McCaffrey. I don't care that he didn't catch it. You didn't follow the process. So I'm not going to blame Christian McCaffrey for that. I'm going to blame Brock Purdy for turning down the free money, which was a positive play and which was how you were supposed to run that play in the structure. So Christian McCaffrey, number two. I can't really think of anybody else. Like Jawan Jennings, I don't know, man. Like who? Tonjes, like what are we supposed to say? Like I can't even like say the offensive line now at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna go McCaffrey, my number one star.
Uh-huh.
Another 100-yard, 130 total yard game here for him, his fourth in a row this season. It's just a little different this time because he got a touchdown, right? Like he scored a touchdown, he got the Niners on the board. Tongus is a close one for me as well. But McCaffrey, just because again, it's we're talking about McCaffrey's struggles and all this, but he's still just casually getting 100-yard scrimmage games every week. So I'll give it to McCaffrey.
And I'm gonna give mine to Fred Warner, man. I mean, obviously you want him to convert one of those plays, but my God, he's laying it out there on the line. You can't ask this guy to do anything more. He has the punch out, it just lands in the guy's leg. The interceptions you'd like to have. But Fred Warner played a very good game, man, and he always does. I feel like we can always just use one of his the 3 stars on him every week.
And a bonus one because he's in a sentence with Patrick Willis. He passed Patrick Willis for most forced fumbles and franchise history. So any times you're mentioned with Patrick Willis, it's a good game.
Sure did. Yeah, Fred Warner, man. I mean, any week we can do that. Any week we can do that. We can just use one of the 3 for Fred Warner. But yeah, always around the football, always bringing the energy. Can't really help it, man. I mean, again, if the ball bounces your way sometimes it doesn't. You get the Upton Stout interception, ticky-tack PI, call it back. You get a perfectly placed, punch, you knock the ball out, falls into the leg of a Jaguar, and they hold on to the ball. You get those 2 plays where your hands are on the ball with Fred Warner, and they land on the ground. Just is what it is. So, stinks, man.
17 points off of 49ers turnovers, by the way. I was just looking at that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is the defense, when they weren't put in an awful position because of a turnover, played very well and got off the field, very many times. So,
I mean, the one exception too is the one play 48-yard touchdown drive they had off of the first fumble where ETN. That's the one exception of the defense. But I mean, look at that, 17 points off of or maybe not 17 because they might not have gotten a point after. Let's see, 14. Yeah, 17 points off of that, and then 7 points off of the kickoff return or the punt return. So like, it just doesn't feel good. There's a lot of things that went wrong with this game, but it's not end all be all. And we'll see what happens on Thursday, and then maybe they turn it around.
You know what? I have to say we've come a long way from, and I know people like when, I get a little, upset, this game is absolutely frustrating. I think I'm going to be even more frustrated when I rewatch it tomorrow. That's really going to piss me off because I'm going to see it on film, like guys wide open that, I think it was Braden Willis that was wide open on a play that, Brock, just didn't score on a touchdown and it ends up being a field goal. I want to see some of those things. That's going to piss me off more than anything. I guess the frustration level that I have now it's still palpable and it's still high or whatever because I know how much they kicked away. But I think I'm just doing a better job of just saying, hey man, it is what it is. Like, this is what happened. You guys lost, and this is how you lost, and this is why you lost. And when you play like that, doesn't matter who the opponent is, you're gonna walk away with an L.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, look at the Raider game. Raiders turned the ball over 4 times a day. They lost.
They did on a block kick.
On a block field goal, but still, like, it just you can't turn the ball over 4 times, and it really, again, like I understand some of the concerns on the defense, the run defense, the pass rush, all that stuff, but like the defense played well enough because 17, like as I said, 17 of the points were off of turnovers, and 7 were on the punt return. So like it's hard to win that way.
The Unbeaten again, thank you for the donation. Next time I'll laugh after a loss if we healthy. I don't think we're actually ever going to be healthy.
No, we're never.
Never. Like one guy, hey, we're getting this guy back, but this guy's hurt now. Oh, hey, George Kittle's back, but Ricky Pearsall's hurt now. Oh, hey, DeMarcus Robinson's here. Yeah, you're literally getting Juwan Jennings. Like Juwan Jennings is like going out on the cross with that 2-point conversion, like where he just got absolutely wrecked. Again, another high pass from Purdy. So it just seems like, we're sacrificing Peter to pay Paul. Like we're robbing Peter to pay Paul here. Like, one guy's going to get hurt and then we're going to get somebody back. And it's just like, we're never going to get everybody. We're not going to get the band all together. We're going to have glimpses of it. It'll be Kittle and Juwan Jennings one week and then Kittle and Pearsall, but Juwan Jennings is out. And then Brandon Ayuk and Juwan Jennings, but Pearsall's out. Like, it's just weird how it's been working out.
I think we said everything that needs to be said, right?
Yeah.
I think we got it. So we'll be back tomorrow lunchtime, SRO proper, to kind of dissect it. Jason, I know you'll have some film to watch, so I'm sure you'll have some thoughts on the offensive line. And then we'll probably be back Thursday lunchtime to preview Rams, Niners, all that fun stuff. But there's other content here on Jason Aponte's YouTube channel. There's 150 of you in right now. Great time to like to the channel. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to this. Jason's going to have a podcast with Steph Sanchez. He'll be on with Dieter at some point this week as well. Plenty of great content here on this channel. But don't forget SRO tomorrow at noonish, we'll call it, to talk Niners, Jaguars. Jason, it was fun. I'm sorry, a little late, but that's okay. I'll be on time Thursday night. But I had a good time talking to you. It's always good to therapize each other in these.
You better be on time or your ass is fired. All right.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, spin zone. The Mets not in the playoffs.
What's my favorite saying about the Mets, Andrew Pasquini?
They suck.
No. To us as Yankee fans, there wasn't a hatred of the Mets, right?
Yeah.
The way that we look at them is just the Mets. The real rival is Tuesday against the Boston Red Sox.
Well, and I was going to say in spin zone, I know you don't win the AL East, but you get a chance.
Best record in the American League.
Get a chance to knock out the Red Sox.
Yeah, but best record in the American League too, and a wild card berth. I mean, go figure. But it is pretty funny that Juan Soto went over there, had his best season, and they didn't make the playoffs.
Hey, the Giants have a 30 home run guy.
They do.
We did it. We did it. 30 home runs.
They do.
All right, Jason.
All right.
We're talking about baseball. I think we're losing some people here, so that's okay.
Yeah, that's
Jason.
it.
We'll be back tomorrow. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners. Have a good night, guys. Don't let